Good evening, it's 8:30, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. Tonight, I'm joined by Pat and Colin, and we are discussing hot topics. What could that be? It's Ronaldo. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. I'm joined by Pat and Colin. We are the dream team, the three amigos, and I want to start with some good news. Let's talk about the game yesterday quickly. Pat and Colin, I'm going to come to you first, Colin, because I spoke to you yesterday, Pat. Colin, I haven't heard your thoughts on the performance and the result. I mean, were you worried going into the game, and what were your expectations, and how do you feel afterwards?
Well, I mean, before the game, I was worried. Tottenham can be a very dangerous side, and it seemed like Kane and Son was slowly building that partnership of previous seasons again. I did the watch-along over on obviously my channel, and I could not believe it. United was so dominant. It was great to see a proper team, a proper United team again on the field, and. Can I just say, we spoke about it a long time ago, this Anthony. What a player. What a player he is. I mean, I'm still buzzing from the result now.
Okay, over to you, Pat. Your feelings? I mean, we've had some time now to reflect. How are you feeling today? Were you boasting in work?
Nah, not really. I'm not really a boaster. I'd rather just talk about the football. But the main thing I kind of wanted to check out today was the Tottenham fans' response to see what they thought of the defeat. Did they think that Tottenham didn't turn up on the night? Was it lucky for Manchester United? Because their season's kind of all up and down. So I'm trying to read between the lines to see if Manchester United were lucky on the night. But the first comment I read was, is the Tottenham team being burnt out from this high style of football that Conte has them playing? I'm like, we're only a couple of games into the season. What are you talking about players getting burnt out? You know what I mean? It's not a team full of 36-year-olds who can only play once a week. Yeah. Cop on to yourselves. Like, I think we just outclassed them on the night, and Erik ten Hag got the better of Conte. And it happens. Unfortunately, it happens as a manager.
Do you both agree that it was more of a case that we played well and Tottenham just played extra poor?
I think as the game of chess went, Erik ten Hag had all the right moves and he caught Tottenham on the bounce.
Okay. Guys, we're going to go over to our sponsor. As you know, we are now sponsored by GMS. And if you ask what GMS is all about, they assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the damn country. They offer a wide range of services, including setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning, and monitoring. The link's in the description, guys, so make sure you check them out. That's GMS Global Mapping Surveys. Big up to them. Anyway, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. We've come here today to talk about a lot of things to do with Ronaldo. Once again, he's taking the headlines here. I don't know how you guys feel about it. We haven't really had time to sort of get a feel, but I want to know what people in the comments feel about it as well, because it's sort of divided opinion. It's been bubbling up all day, and we're at 8:30 now to go right in and see what the feeling is from the panel and from the comments as well. So, first of all, we know he didn't get to start yesterday. Rashford started. That was a talking point. Rashford played really well. He's quite effective. He pressed a lot more. We had a lot more energy, and the manager didn't bring him on. Now, it was either a case of he asked him to come on or get warmed up, and he decided to say no, or he just didn't get brought on when Elanga and Eriksen came on, and he just walked off. And as we all saw, he'd done a long walk, which obviously our tunnel is down in the corner, so you have to walk in front of everybody. He had the camera on him on the bench all game, and he'd done that long, slow walk down like he was warming up, and then suddenly just walked down the tunnel and disappeared. And apparently, we got so many quotes here, but according to Laurel Whithill, he says the Portuguese international walked down the tunnel before the final whistle, but also left the stadium rather than head into the dressing room. So there's a number of discipline issues here. What is going on? I'm going to start with you, Pat. What's going on in Ronaldo's head? You're Ronaldo. Put yourself in Ronaldo's shoes. What is going on in his head during the game that he's watching, where we're playing really well? It's not like we're playing poorly. That he decides to do that. Put yourself in his shoes, please.
If it was a 28-year-old Ronaldo or an 18-year-old Ronaldo, I could kind of excuse the mistakes that he made by trying to rattle out a pram and walking off the pitch. But 30, is he 37-year-old now, going on 38?
38, I think.
All right, okay, even worse, 38 years of age. So he's 38 years of age, acting unprofessional. I don't care what mentality the man has. He's setting an example for young people watching him and younger footballers within the team. So this is my first time I'll actually speak against Ronaldo. So I'm not happy with the way he acted.
But what's going on in his head? He's sitting there. What's he thinking? Put yourself in his shoes.
What's he thinking? He's thinking the next international break is coming up and he wants to be playing in that national team. And he's not getting game time. And I can understand where the frustration is coming from, but he's nobody else to blame but himself at the moment because his form is poor. And I know he needs game time to get better, but unfortunately, he hasn't got the legs to do what Erik ten Hag is asking of him, which is a defensive role and an attacking role combined. Now, if he was given out to Marcus Rashford during the first half for not doing his defensive duties and running himself ragged, how do you think that would have went with Cristiano Ronaldo on that pitch and Erik ten Hag screaming at him to do his defensive duties? He probably would have had that strap on the pitch as well as having the strap off the pitch afterwards. It could have been worse. It could have been more embarrassing and he could have been taken off.
Hey, Colm, you jump in. You're Ronaldo. I'm asking you, what are you thinking, bruv? Why are you walking off? What's going on for your head? Talk to me.
Well, clearly, he's very, very upset. He's stayed at United. Obviously, there was these things, could have gone to a different club. Obviously, money was a slight issue, but he's decided to give up Champions League football to stay at United and try and help them rebuild. This is also probably going to be his last chance to win another world title, but, not being played. How can I get into that squad if I'm not being played? I'm considered still one of the best players in the world and one of the best players that's ever played football. And I'm being stuck on the bench and you're picking Marcus Rashford and other players over the top of me when I've scored 700 goals in my career and, all this kind of stuff. So I understand why he's angry. And I do understand why he's angry. I mean, I'm a massive Ronaldo fan. I've got his name on the back of shirts and everything. But, what he's done just isn't right.
All right, guys, there's got to be consequences and repercussions. We both agree that's indiscipline. We expect better from him. He's supposed to be a senior and setting good examples, and that's probably not a good example to the rest of his teammates as well. So there has to be discipline within the club. There's been a statement released to say that the club are behind the manager, which is a good thing as well. He's got the backing to, say what he feels. I had a statement from Mike Phelan as well. He said throughout his whole time there was never any pressure to play Ronaldo while at the club either. So he's sort of saying that he didn't feel that sort of pressure. Well, the manager definitely is getting backed here. That's a good thing. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see so softy thing, treatment towards a player. So let's just deal with the club statement. Guys in the comments, keep the comments coming. We will come to you any minute now. So the club statement, released a statement, obviously, because it's been announced he's not playing against Chelsea. So Cristiano Ronaldo will not be part of the Man United team for this Saturday's game against Chelsea. Rest of the squad is fully focused on preparing for the fixture. Simple as that. So we know that the board are backing him. We know it's official now that he's not playing. Is that punishment? Is that the right punishment? Because it's got to be consequences and repercussions for his behaviour the other day. Is that, if you're a teammate, you think that's fair? Start with you, Pat.
Yes, it has to be. We've seen before where, I can't remember how many weeks ago it was now, where Ronaldo walked off during one of the games and he kind of took the low with him. Well, I'm not saying he took the low with him. The low would have walked on his own behalf out with him. And there was a couple of other players that apparently walked out too. Erik ten Hag has now changed the mentality and he's made them all realise the discipline and consequences for any mistakes that they may make. And now, I think Ronaldo, this is probably the first time in a while now he's probably tried to test Erik ten Hag's mettle to see what he's like, and unfortunately now it's backfired him because immediately there's a statement from the club backing the manager. It's not a little wishy-washy approach where nothing's said and we'll hope it all goes under the rug At the moment, the club is straight out back in the manager. So that's not a good sign for Cristiano Ronaldo.
You know what, Colin? So obviously the club are backing him. They've made a statement now. But what do you think about? I mean, the punishment, is that enough? Do you think he should be fined? Do you think they should boot him out of the club? Because all these questions are going to be raised now. How do you gauge someone in discipline like that walking away? I mean, we don't see that often. And just another thing for you, Colin. Before the show, before this came out, we were talking about other six. There's apparently 6 times when he showed this indiscipline recently. I can remember one against Real Valladolid, whatever the team was, where he's showing this expression of like this unhappiness to the manager. But I can't remember the rest. Colin, you're the stat guy. Can you reel off any other instance that have been brought up in the last, since the time Ronaldo's been there, which have been sort of a bit, spoilt in a way?
Well, I mean, there's some of the ones, I can't remember all of them myself, but obviously there's the rumours that he was looking for another club all summer. That's a big one. He walked out at half-time before, I believe, and disappeared somewhere before the game finished. That's another one. So, I mean, if you're looking at that, this is the second time that he's done it now. Walked out, and obviously he's got the whole thing that you've just said with Ten Hag there, kind of looking at him saying as if, who are you kind of thing. Dropping him from the squad is a start. I think that's a start. It's stamping Ten Hag's authority. Ten Hag has turned around and said, listen, these are the rules. I don't care who you are. These are the rules. And he's sticking by that, which I think is going to put a really positive thing in Manchester United, because now the players are going to say, well, he's done it to Ronaldo, so I do need to book up my ideas and make sure that I'm performing well, that I'm not doing anything that's going to damage the club or, affect my teammates at all, because if he can do that to Ronaldo, he can easily do it to me as well. So I think it's a great thing. Unfortunately for me, I think it needs to progress a lot further. Ronaldo's not going to be bothered about getting a fine. He's really not. He's earned millions of pounds, in his career. So I think it's about time that when January comes around, it's time to say goodbye.
Just a pair of you quickly before we go into the comments. Do you think he sat there, or is like just a spark moment where he thought, F it, I'm just walking, I'm done with this? Or do you think he planned it and thought about it, thought, if I do this, it's going to raise a lot of attention and I can get my way out of this club? So was it premeditated or not, do you think?
Oh, no way. That's far too much thought. There's far too much thought process put into that. He's clearly just in his own mind. This man is still the 22-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo tearing up the pitch, but he's not, unfortunately. And you can see that frustration when he's on the pitch. Man, I love Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's out of line this time. Okay, now I live my life by certain mottos, and one of them is you only really know someone after you've had an argument. And I think him and Erik Ten Hag have had arguments already, and he's not just prepared to row in and get on board what Erik Ten Hag wants. And unfortunately, Erik Ten Hag's tipping out the water and he's tipping it back in. And unfortunately, it's going to be time to go over Cristiano if he keeps it up.
Do you think Colin was disrespectful to Ten Hag? Because he was obviously clearly asked a question after the game. He said, we played magnificent and I would deal with that tomorrow. He said he wasn't aware of it. But this is not the first time he's put the manager under pressure and made him, tested him with the media. Because the media are going to be all over this post-match.
Oh, yeah, 100% they're going to be all over it. I mean, what Ronaldo did there, I've got to agree, it wasn't premeditated. But we know how long that walk is. And he didn't stop and think, I should probably go back, or anything like that. I think he was just, he got so far.
It wasn't a shuttle run.
No.
Colin, he could have pretended he was doing a quick drill and dropped a hand. And turned around and jogged back.
Yeah, he could have. That's what I mean. He could have. But no, obviously he was just so annoyed. He's just gone. But it's not just disrespectful to Ten Hag. It's disrespectful to his teammates and the fans that turn up week in, week out.
Fair enough. All right, let's go to the comments because it's bubbling in here right now. Matthew Bassett, how you doing? FC United Forever says, banished permanently from all aspects of United. Richard has already submitted an application to the FA for an emergency player registration additional to the 25-man squad. It was sad to see. So that's news coming in. Thank you so much for that update. So that means, obviously, if he looks like he might be leaving, we have to register someone new. HG Gamer saying Ronaldo knows what he's doing, so premeditated. He disagrees with you guys. This is all part of a plan to get out. He definitely destroyed his legacy by doing this. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to go to everybody in the comments. I want to say hi to the main man, Rebel. He's saying Summer, because what unfolded since he left is left a sour taste in his mouth. I'm coming to you, Ola Kunle. He's saying the Manx are turning in CR37 1 season too late. If Eric Ten Hag loses against Chelsea, he'll be under massive pressure. Reckon he either quit or get sacked by a team. That's not.
He'll be going missing again now when they draw and not Forest next Saturday.
These Liverpool fans. Rebel saying just a case of history repeating itself. Quite possibly. HG Gamer, just going back to the game, saying, has Martinez let Kane and Song out of his pocket yet? What a performance. Emma K, how you doing? How nice is it actually like your team, especially compared to last season? I think she's talking to Ola Kunle. Montreal, all the way from Canada, MUFC. Ronnie just crossed the line. I'm very disappointed. Man United says Ronaldo needs to go. Sad for the other lads to see one player only thinking about himself, and United pay him a lot of money. Emma's saying Ronaldo has disrespected the fans, the team, the club. Absolutely disgusting. It's a bit like Bruce Lee and Ed Dragon said, you have offended my family and you have offended the Shaolin Temple. And then he went to whoop some ass.
There's a few moves there, what do you say?
Yeah. Boards don't hit back, you know. Stuart Marshall saying, no player bigger than the club. Love Ronaldo, but it's time to move on. Wow, people are letting me go. Want to hi to Mr. Tanis. He says, JJ, bath time, how you doing? This is really funny. He says, a lot of people storming off this week. It. That's true. As you heard about our PM. Jackie, how you doing? Long time no see. We love you, Jackie. Miss you. She's saying, I'm super disappointed. It was his action. It may have been impulsive, but the consequences for him is his reputation. That's the biggest thing after all, isn't it? And look, judging by the Ballon d'Or, his reputation's falling fast. What did he finish, Colin? 20th or something?
I think so, yeah. He was still above Messi, though.
All right. There you go. Everyone's saying Ten Hag has literally said he's a bit more careful with the strikers as we are low on them. Ronaldo was 100% going to play one of the games, maybe even against Chelsea. Rebels saying, tell Ronaldo his services are no longer required. Terminate his contract by mutual consent. Save 12 million. Let his agent worry about where he's going to play next. You can't have these shenanigans. I love Rebels wordplay. Realist, want to say hi to Realist United. Go and check out his channel. I was watching one of his Twitches today. Is it Twitch, whatever it is, yeah. But big up to Realist United, man. Check them out. They're doing bits. Says, I see no problem in him getting dropped. I don't care for him. There you go. People are giving up. Hi to Matterface. Huge fan of Ronaldo. He says, best player I've seen him play at Old Trafford. But it's completely unacceptable. Put him in the reserves and make a public apology. That's big. That's big. Montreal saying, if PSG did the same to Messi, I guess the blow of Ronaldo shenanigans. Everyone's using the word now. The key word is shenanigans. Thanks, Rebel. Would be easier to absorb.
Set them all
Comparing
up.
the two is inevitable for me. Just going to run down. Sorry, I can't touch on everyone's comments here, but there's a lot of people in the thing. Bath Time's asking, can we hear all of Pat's mottos, please? I want to say hi to Box. Box is saying Ronaldo needs to go, but let's remember United full of players who have disrespected the club. Rio Ferdinand, a year after we supported him through his drugs ban, he threatened to leave if he's not paid more. Okay, so we're trying to get some balance out here. And the last one, well, two more from me. FC United Forever says, at least we got to see 700 goals in our badge, plus the award given to him by Alex, which also saw David get one for 500 league appearances. Flex Felix is saying, unfortunately, we'll be stuck with this toxicity until summer. Nobody would go for him in January. Bath Time saying, yes, he successfully soldiered something without burning his house down. We're always getting domestic updates from Bath Time.
He's the master of soldering, apparently, now he is.
All right. So, obviously, clearly, he's been dropped for the Chelsea game. I'm going to come to you guys in a second, but just going to get a few quotes from players as well. So, Thierry Henry said, taking the headlines away from the team and placing them on himself, basically saying that's a bad thing to do. Ten Hag, obviously, he said he dismissed the question post-match saying he'd deal with the matter today. We are celebrating the victory. He said, I want to keep the focus on the team and a magnificent performance by all 11 players and subs. It was a squad performance. And Dion Dublin, you remember him? Came to Man United, broke his leg, and then still became a Premiership legend, scored over 100 goals elsewhere. But he says, it basically says, I don't care. For me, in the dressing room, it says, I'm off. So he's telling everyone in the change room, I'm off, by that sort of disrespect. I don't really care about my teammates. That's what he's basically saying. I know he's passionate for playing for Man United, but tonight he's massively in the wrong. Okay, drop for the Chelsea game. How important is this Chelsea game? We perform really well. We're in the top. We're in battle for top 4. It's not going to be easy. It's a column. So would you, as a manager, would you sort of just drop him for one game, and just say, right, I'll bring you back because you need him? Who have we got? Are you going to rely on Charlie McNeil? Are you going to get a call-up column? There's no one there, is there? We've got to be, serious here about this. You can't really. I know there's discipline, but look what happened with Eric Cantona. He was allowed to come back into the side, and he's done some stupid things. He's stamping on people. He's got back in. Lee Sharp even said he gave him special treatment, the manager. When he kicked down the kung fu kick, he blamed everyone else, got in the change room, blamed everyone else, said, what are you doing, what are you doing? And he said to Eric, you can't do that, son. So do you see what I'm saying? That's a great manager in Alex Ferguson, who was disciplined, but he understood he needed his top striker in the squad. Colin, is it right to drop him for the Chelsea game, and would you continue to drop him after this, if it does affect our form?
I mean, yes, it is right to drop him for the Chelsea game. I think he needs to be dropped. His actions, you can't play against Chelsea. It's simple as that. See, the issue is I don't want a player that in a Man United shirt playing on the pitch where everybody else is giving 110% for each other and he's not giving 110% for them. I don't want that kind of player on the pitch. As much, like I said, as much as I love Ronaldo, because I do, if he's not going to be playing for the team and he's playing for himself, then no, I don't want you to come back. It's as simple as that. Stay in the void until whenever you're gone. I mean, like I said, it's really difficult because we've got Rashford, who still for me isn't, our striker. He's still not quite there for me. And we've got Martial, who's out injured yet again. So we have to be looking at some of the youth players to bring up.
Name one who can play up front.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing.
You can't be showing Charlie McNeil in there. He's too young.
Well, no, we can't. But
Langa?
Possibly Langa, but I know Sancho's played through the middle before. Maybe we can try Anthony playing through the middle. There is different ways of doing it, but we still don't have that out-and-out goal scorer.
Pat, can I ask you something here? Look, can we explain? Obviously, the physical side of the game, we watch them on the pitch, the effectiveness of that. But how detrimental is it to the club with this sort of behaviour? Does it damage some of the club if we were to sort of play him, bring him back? How do you feel if you're a Langa and you're thinking, right, this is my opportunity to shine, and then the manager puts him back in after this Chelsea game, for example? So 1 game punishment. I mean, tell us the importance of discipline here and doing the right thing, and how it can keep the players on side.
If Ronaldo was to get away with this one time over Eric Ten Hag, he will do it again. And then he'll try it again, and then you'll see other players try it. So when I said earlier on, he's trying to test Eric Ten Hag's mettle. He wants to see what he can get away with. Now, he's tried it, and it's not going to happen. I'd just like to compare 2 players in this situation at the moment. We had Casemiro, who came from Real Madrid, and we have Cristiano Ronaldo, who came, well, let's say he came from Portugal after spending the summer by himself, okay? 2 players came into the season from different circumstances, but both at the same time unfit and not ready to start a game, okay? Now, Casemiro has probably sat out more, if not the same amount of games as Cristiano Ronaldo. He's had to wait. Well, Scott McTominay kept Casemiro out of the squad until he worked his way back in, and now he's winning us all over with his performances as he gradually gets better. I haven't seen Casemiro throwing his boots into the sky, screaming at Eric Ten Hag. I haven't seen him in the paper. So there's a way to hold yourself, and unfortunately, Cristiano Ronaldo is not being professional at the moment. That's the problem.
All right, as Flex Felix is saying here, those players grafted to the best performance I've seen in years. And the focus is on Ronaldo. That's really sad. Is that the best performance you guys have seen in a long time?
Yes, I watched Manchester United suffocate Tottenham the way that it's been happening to us for so many times, and we just can't do anything about it. So it was good to see us to be doing it to somebody else for once. And we're talking about Langer as a striker. Marcus Rashford is going to do just fine there until Anthony Martial comes back to full fitness. He was good in front of goal last night, but he could be better. So more games brings more confidence, and he will hit a hot streak. He's done it before, and he'll do it again.
So Montreal's saying here, massive game against Chelsea. If we win, we enter the top 4 race and can
Correct.
start hunting the Buffs. Now, Colin, I mean, we spoke before the season. We said we've got to be patient, wait 3 to 4 transfer windows before we can start competing and get in the top 4. But we're there already, kind of. We're sort of on the cusp of it. And this game is so massive. And then we got to deal with this stupid problem with Ronaldo coming true. So what would you do? I mean, with this game, what sort of selection would you play? Would you play with the same front three as you did the other day? Because you were raving about Anthony.
I would play the exact same squad. You know, you cannot change a team that's gone out onto that pitch against. And let's not kid ourselves. Tottenham aren't fantastic, but they're not a weak side at all. You know, we had Martinez pocket Son, who's been prolific in previous seasons. Kane, who's supposedly the best striker in the Premier League. You know, he pocketed both of them. Our midfield, Fred. I'll give a big shout out to Fred because he was insane yesterday. He really was. He found his Brazilian passport again. He found his Brazilian passport. You know, he triggered a lot of the press. If you watch the game, triggered a lot of press. And like Pat said, we suffocated them in their own half. They barely got away from their box without United getting the ball back. So I think you have to play the same starting 11 as what started against Tottenham.
Okay. We've got Vincent here, our Dutch correspondent. Always great to get some insight about Ten Hag's progression at our club because he knows all about his progression at Ajax. And he's saying, hi, guys, typical Dutch team mentality. Nobody is more important than the team. I even bet Erik Ten Hag doesn't even take it personal. Erik Ten Hag will do it, no exceptions. So there you go. We're getting a sort of a profile of Erik Ten Hag via Vincent. So we appreciate you, Vincent. Just so go through a couple comments here. McTominay, a striker, says HG Gamer.
You know where that came from. There's only one man that gets that wheel turning.
Matty said, I'm assuming everyone here on the Man United agenda presenters have normal jobs. Yes, we do. And normal wages. Well, Pat doesn't. He's rich. He's loaded. Sorry, Pat. And normal rules like me.
As I sit here in my kids' playroom on YouTube.
He said, if he down tools 6 times and walked out, you wouldn't have a job? ? I'm going to go to this one because this is bath time. Bath time, as you know, does the eye test. And he's saying, yeah, clean ball striker, as in McTominay, good strong runner, strong in the air. I'm a little surprised he has been put in midfield since he was 16. He's got the profile of a centre forward. And sorry, here we go. We talk about centre forwards who can fill in. It's FC United forever say, just taught as in Irish, taught. We could bring back Philios.
It's between FC United and Bath time, we'd have the squad of Phil Jones and McTominay up front, which would be hilarious and entertaining at the same time.
And finally, I'm sorry I'm jumping people, but just telling how you doing says such sickness. You are not putting on the best in the world, really, bro. Okay, here we go. And Stuart Marshall saying we are creating so many chances of late. It's ridiculous. Need a clinical finisher. Yeah, that's the issue. Bruno says Emma's made 9 chances, more than any Premier League player have made since September 2021, if I'm correct with the month. Okay, look, guys, he's dropped for the Chelsea game. We quickly to touch on now. We've got a few minutes left. Ronaldo's future, what lies in the future? Get your crystal balls out. What happens to Ronaldo? We've got a transfer window coming up. He obviously wants to play in the World Cup. Colin, what's Ronaldo's future? Club football as well. What lies ahead of him?
Well, obviously, he's going to play for Portugal in the World Cup. You know, this is probably going to be his last, like I said, competition, his world stage competition. And I don't think he's going to be a United player. I really don't.
By when?
By January.
Oh, right.
I was talking with a couple of people before I came on the show. about Ronaldo, and I've stated, and it is my statement, that I don't think we'll see me United shirt again now.
Okay. And just quickly, as a United fan, because we're going to wrap it up very soon, as a United fan, like it was mentioned earlier about reputation being more important than anything, does this tarnish his reputation for
100%.
you as a fan? Yeah?
100%.
So you can't remember the glory days of winning Champions League and missing penalties in the Champions League final and beating Arsenal in the semi-final. I mean, you got to balance it.
No, you can balance it out 100%. I can still remember those days. I can still remember Ronaldo scoring all these fantastic goals. But at the end of the day, what he's done is disrespected everything. His whole legacy at United has now been disrespected because of his actions so far this season.
Okay. Have you got your crystal ball out, Pat? Because Bath Time's saying here, if it's true and we've asked for emergency dispensation for the 25-man squad, Ronaldo will be off this Monday. What's your thoughts on Ronaldo in the future? We can't hear you. Louder.
I would not like to see Cristiano. Oh, came back a bit too loud there. I would not like to see Cristiano Ronaldo leave Manchester United in this manner, because he is a superstar he's an absolute legend of the club, okay? But unfortunately, just as we've seen in the past, relationships never end well, especially when it comes to football and superstars and big egos. I'd just like to highlight one, which is Ruud van Nistelrooy, left Manchester United for Real Madrid, never wanted to speak to Alex Ferguson again, grew up, copped onto himself, came back a few years later, has nothing but he has nothing but admiration for Alex Ferguson now and loves the ground he walks on. So I wish Cristiano Ronaldo would just go back, sit down, have a little bit of family time with the mother, because I think she's his agent and he probably listens to her for everything and say, Cristiano, keep your head down. Do your best until January and then we'll get you out of there. Leave the club on a respectable level, because at the moment, what you've done the weekend was a bad move and you need to rectify that. Show them the true man you actually are. And that's how I'd say to him.
You mentioned Ruud van Nistelrooy. He was in charge of PSV against Arsenal earlier, and they had a guy called Cody Gakpo playing for them. I don't know if anyone done a
no, I never knew about him.
Scout. Yeah, I watched a bit of him this evening. What do you think? Anyone see his performance? Did you watch him, Colin?
Unfortunately, I didn't watch him today. Bobby, who was doing the watch along, mentioned his names quite a few times, but I've seen him previously, and he does look like a very, very good young, talented player. Okay,
so Just Telling saying he's leaving for sure. Box is saying just keep Ronaldo until January and then leave, then get a short-term number 9. There's not many great number 9s, it really is there. Flex Village saying the terminate contract will cost 8.4 million. We've spent more on firing managers. A couple more comments here. Barton saying, to be honest, Ronaldo tried to leave us United about 90% of the time he's been here, so it doesn't really change a lot for me. He's always been a princess. Do you remember we had to beg him to stay an extra year when he wanted to go to Real Madrid?
It took Ferguson to beg him to stay.
That's right. Just saying Ronaldo would do unbelievable things in the World Cup. That all clubs will want him. So maybe if we keep him, we could. Does his contract run out in 2023? Is that right, guys?
Yes.
Not too sure.
Yes,
I think it does. And HD Gamer saying Gakpo has built off a centre forward.
Has the build of a centre forward, yeah.
Has built. He's very skinny. I was watching him today. He's really skinny and mager. He could easily be pushed around in the Premiership, but he's playing off the left, sort of in Rashford or the Sancho role. So yeah. Here we go. So Bath saying Gakpo looks pants today, to be honest. And so guys, we need people in the comments to let us know who we should buy. Here's one, Mitrovic. From Box, which is maybe a good shout. He's a pretty good player himself. But guys, we're going to wrap up now. You know what? Really do appreciate it. There's 21 watching right now. Make sure, stop what you're doing, press the like button for us. It really helps. And give us your comments. And comment after the show as well. If you're just jumping in late, whatever, comment after. And Pat, myself, and Colin will come and correspond with you. Bit like Bill Badger, who's just this second, Bill Badger has popped up. Bill Badger knows about it. He will reinforce the fact that at the Man United, if you do put a comment in, we will interact with you and have a little conversation with you post-show as well. So big up to everyone who's tuned in. Oh, sorry, last point. Jonathan David by Montreal. I like that player. I think that's a good signing. Everton will look at him today. I heard in the rumour mill. Don't know about that. But last word from you guys before we sign out. Pat and Colm, has your heart been broken? Do you think it's fair? And do you think this is I do trust in the manager?
I'm 100% behind Eric Ten Hag. So I just hope that Cristiano gets his act together and at least sees out the remainder of the season or until at least January.
Okay. And Colm, you got the last word. And also, if you don't mind, promote your channel. One of our sister channels, anyway.
No problem. Yeah, I'm 100% behind Ten Hag as well. You know, he's the boss. Do what he says. Hopefully, Ronaldo comes to his senses, apologizes, and he can start getting back into form. And if anybody does want to know where I am on the Full Time Sports Network channel over on YouTube, where we cover all the Premier League and as well as boxing, WWE, UFC, cricket. You name it, we cover it.
You got everything covered. It's like World of Sport, and you're Dickie Davis. I love it. All right. Anyway, guys, we're signing out now. Thanks for everyone who's tuned in. We love you, and no doubt we'll be back tomorrow at 8:30 and 10 o'clock as well for the Friday night takeaway. So big up, guys. Ronaldo might be gone, but we are still Manchester United. Later.